A lot happened in 2023, but something we probably all remember from it is the Titan submarine and how it took the internet by storm after its crash at the bottom of the ocean. But what really happened leading up to the crash? And did Stockton Rush really not know something was going to happen? Join Maya and I as we delve into the mysteries behind the submarine, recap our thoughts about the 2025 documentary Titan that was recently released, revealing behind-the-scenes information that was previously not well known. So hop into our morbid time machine and let's get into it. Welcome inquirers, old and new, to our grim past. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Maia. Join us as we delve into the weird, random, and all-around strange events that have happened in history.
Together, we will spiral down a rabbit hole of time
and venture out towards a better understanding of our world.
From shipwrecks and spooky places to morally questionable people and practices,
hop into our morbid time machine
and
let's get into it.
Hey Maya.
Hi Sophia.
How are you today?
I'm great.
What y'all do not see here is I'm about to call Maya out. We are having a Monster High playdate with some Monster High dolls. They're just chilling with us.
I brought my dolls over to her room and they're hanging out together.
And we're a little distracted today. It's fine.
It's fine. It's not like we've been sitting together for over an hour.
Yeah, not at all.
And haven't recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't get our episode for last week out. Sorry, guys. We did have a plan, and then that just didn't happen. So
yeah, I had a class project where I had to record TikToks, and I was like, maybe I might be able to record after that. But do you want to come with me? Sophia was like, sure, and then we ended up just doing that instead.
Yeah, and we're like, you know what? It's okay. We're college students. Our listeners will understand. We hope you'll understand. We're busy. We're really busy. But yeah, today we'll be talking about the Titan submarine. Well, submersible. But okay, kind of on the, in the same vein, Maya, I know I've talked to you about this before. Spooky Lake Month.
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
I love Spooky Lake Month. It is my favorite thing about October. So this TikToker, Geo Ruthford, does every October, she does 31 days where every day she talks about a new spooky water something. So Lake Superior, it's creepy as everything. She's talked about the Titanic before. Her favorite is Lake Baikal, which is the biggest and I think oldest freshwater lake in the world. And it over the winter it does completely freeze over, which is really weird because it's way deeper than Lake Superior and the other Great Lakes, but none of the other Great Lakes freeze over. It's really cool, really interesting. There have been some spooky things. One time she did an episode about a spooky water park and that killed people.
Whoa.
Yeah. Had a whole bunch of class action lawsuits against it. The 80s were a time, we're learning. I mean, I feel we knew that already, but the 80s were a time. Regulations were not a thing. But yeah, I don't know, we were talking about weird ocean things and I was like, Spooky Lake Month. I love Spooky Lake Month. And I'm kind of sad that no one else has heard of it because I absolutely adore it. And it's just so fun.
It sounds cool.
And her voice is just so soothing. I love it.
Get on the ASMR trend.
Literally. Except it's about creepy water things. And
you win some, you lose some.
Honestly, sometimes that's more relaxing. Or sometimes it gives me weird dreams.
Yeah. I've been getting into Minecraft ARGs.
Wait, was that the one thing that you were telling me about when we were driving back up?
I think. It's
with the missing kid and
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite one that I watch. I watch it a lot.
But no, we all have our things. But yeah. To the Titan Submersible. We'll start with a brief overview for those who were living under a rock in June of 2023. I feel we couldn't escape the Titan Submersible anywhere during that time. So in 2023, when was Father's Day? June 18th of 2023. And days prior, it was reported that it went missing, and it was a huge thing because they were oh my god, they're running out of oxygen. They only have 4 days left of oxygen. And there were these countdown timers, and it was super dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a bunch of memes about it too.
Bunch of memes. Do you remember the song?
No, what?
Okay, so one of the guys had a stepson who allegedly went to a Blink-182 concert while the Titan was like actively missing. And so someone made a parody of that, and it was, yeah, someone made like a parody of that, made that into a song, and it was like, okay, alrighty.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. But no, there was a lot of jokes going around, a lot of dark jokes going around.
Yeah.
So yeah, it like really took the internet by storm. Then a few days after it went missing, it was found by the Canadian Coast Guard that it actually imploded at the bottom of the ocean, right by the Titanic. Because, fun fact, the Titan was meant to be a sightseeing tour trip thing down to the Titanic. So people paid $250,000 to go see a gravesite, which,
But like the Titanic is really cool.
like, it's really cool, but also it's a gravesite.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, there were a lot of feelings about it. Some people were like, well, serves them right. And then some people were like, well, they're human. They didn't deserve to die. I personally was like, well, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, was kind of my thought process. The only person that I really felt bad for was there was this teenager aboard who went with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, this is not a smart idea. But he ended up caving and going with for a Father's Day present. So I feel bad for him because he was only like 17.
That is really sad.
So I was like, okay, that's quite sad. But yeah. So yeah, that was the Titan implosion. But let's get into the documentary that Maya and I watched that came out, I think it was June of this year. Prior to watching it with Maya, I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and then I watched it again with Maya, and it was great.
Yeah. My reactions were interesting.
Oh yeah. So I think one of the big takeaways that like I remember was like, whoa, that's crazy when I first first watched it, was the fact that like actual scientists were in on the building of it. Because I also remember like not growing up, back when like everything was first coming out about it, it was like, oh, this like was a janky submarine made with like cheap stuff from your local hardware store.
Yeah.
But like to find out that like actual scientists, like Boeing was a part of the project.
Yeah, for
a little bit. I think it was Washington University that lent students to help out, which was actually crazy. But yeah, that was the one thing that I was like, wow, that is actually bizarre. And I personally really like the documentary. I think they did a really good job of talking to all sorts of different people. One of the people that they talked to was this like indie film director who was like taping and like videoing the progress of the building of the Titan. And one thing that he said that kind of stood out to me was like, apparently Stockton Rush, the CEO, would always go on about how access means ownership. Like, it doesn't mean anything if you physically own things if you don't have access to them.
True.
So at least how I interpreted it is he was trying to own the Titanic because he wanted to be the only one with access to it.
Yeah, and like getting there and stuff, and like the market for.
Oh yeah, because it was a really big deal to go down there because again, people are really interested in it. Heck, I went to the Titanic Museum down in Pigeon Forge. Super fun. I was the only person in my group who died, which was a little bit like annoying, but it was over like. The museum itself was gorgeous and was super cool. But no, I'm still a little bit bitter about being the only one in my group who died. Let's see.
But like, I know that you have a lot of really cool conspiracy theories about like that. You think Stockton Rush like knew everything anyway, and like the documentary low-key showed that.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
You can LOL.
Yeah. I 100% think that Stockton knew that it was going to fail. I mean, like they did multiple tests, like when they were still with NASA about their like the compression volume and like see how deep they could get before it imploded.
Mm-hmm.
And they did actually have a system that picked up when the carbon fiber hull was like gonna break, gonna give way.
Like the documentary, like you can hear it popping.
Yeah, which is like creepy. And it also like heavily, I'm pretty sure in the documentary they're like, oh no, you could like hear that within the submarine too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could hear that popping. So like just thinking about going down there, you're in pitch black and all you hear is pop, pop, ding,
Yeah.
and you're like, am I gonna die down here? Like that must have been terrifying. But no, they had that. There wasn't a lot of success with going down to the depths of the Titanic. And there was like
it wasn't approved
yes.
by some of the
By like an outside.
by like the engineer guy.
Oh, yeah.
Even.
Well, and that like in and of itself is another like crazy thing. Like with David Lockridge, they talk a lot with him. He used to be the pilot. He used to be one of the head pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, okay, I want to get this tested by an outside source to make sure it's safe, make sure everything's regulated. And Stockton was like, no, we're not going to do that. And he was like, fine, I'm going to look around and see if it passes my own personal test. And it didn't. And he went to Stockton Rush and was like, this is not safe. And he was fired, which is like billionaires are being billionaires. Like,
yeah,
they don't have to listen to safety if they don't want to, which is completely messed up and puts lives in danger.
Yeah, and it's just insane because that's part of like the access thing. Like he wanted to do this like so bad, but like he didn't do it safely.
No, not at all. But no, I think it was really interesting to hear the input of David Lockridge because he was actually a whistleblower on the part of Ocean Gate. He was like, they're doing this, it's not safe. And he brought his complaint to OSHA and they opened a case. And then Stockton Rush sued him to keep him quiet, which I was always under the impression that like there was like whistleblower protection.
Well, there was, but like it took like him forever to like actually be able to be protected. So that was like the problem.
Yeah. And by the time that it took up so much time and money that he ended up having to drop the loss or the OSHA complaint.
Yeah.
Which is so disheartening because it's like he was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to help people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's again like millionaires will do what they want, which brings up another interesting thing that was like talked about in the hearing. Because I had a hearing with the Coast Guard to figure out if there was negligence on the part of Ocean Gate with the implosion and if Ocean Gate knew what was going to happen. I think it was one of the engineers who said, he was like, yeah, if no one's, Stockton told this engineer, like, if no one's going to approve it in the government, I'm just going to buy myself a congressman, which is like,
that's insane.
Insane. Like, who in their right mind is like, I'm going to do this thing and I know it's bad. And if anyone tries to stop me, I'm going to just buy me a congressman.
Yeah. Like, hello.
Do you not hear yourself? So that was like really interesting. And it was also like, he was known within like the company to like be threatening and like to blackmail people. And it's like, okay, that's like really problematic behavior.
No, yeah, like, yeah, it was just like, because the documentary has like some of his like former employees and stuff like talking about that. And I was just like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah. And then it was also like crazy because after Stockton left, then he turned to his like head of accountant and was like, okay, you're going to be our new pilot, not Stockton. David Lockridge. He's like, you're going to be our new pilot head. And she's like, dude, I'm not trained for that. I'm an accountant.
Yeah.
Like, but he was just trying to go for the, see, look, there's a woman on my team. It's like,
oh my God.
Just like the thought process of this man, Freud would have a field day with him. Hate Freud. Like, Maya hates the Habsburgs, I hate Freud.
Which, valid, because Freud's weird.
Freud is weird, but Freud would also hate me. So I think it's like,
yeah,
valid.
The Habsburgs would also hate me because I'm not a Habsburg.
Freud would hate me because I think his ideas are dumb and would call him on it. And he's like, but you're a woman. Women can't think. Haha. Or whatever. Point is, I don't like Freud. But even Freud would have a field day with this man. The other thing, kind of going back to like how illegal this stuff was, he had a lot of workarounds to like get around the law.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, if Titan was supposed to be like a passenger vessel, like it kind of was, there were so many more regulations that they had to go through. But Stockton was like, well, the people coming aren't actually, they aren't actually like customers. They are on our team.
Yeah, they did. He did this because it's like,
because there's less regulations involved. So if you're a part of the dive crew or whatever, you could kind of do what you wanted, which was crazy considering he had them like closing up the porthole and like doing like actual things that, if done wrong, could probably kill people. So like just the negligence, the work, like he must have known he was doing wrong, but he just didn't.
he didn't
care.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like actually insane to me. The other thing that I thought was really interesting was like, I don't know if you remember this, but I can vividly remember like around 2018, 2019. Did you ever watch CNN 10?
Yes, I did.
I swear there was a segment about this on CNN 10.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure there was. And I like vividly remember it. But like even the news clips that they were showing on the documentary was like, anyone can do this. No, this is $250,000. Not anyone can do this. This isn't just like a fun little ferry ride or like a fun little boat ride, a fun little ferry ride to an island. No, like you are going thousands of meters into the ocean. But that was also really interesting to me. Oh, the Andrea Doria dive. So that was before they were going to the Titanic, but this was like still kind of like test dives for them. And this was before David Lockridge was fired or let go or whatever. And he was originally supposed to pilot that day. And then Stockton was like, actually, I want to pilot. Just give me the remote. I want to do it.
Okay.
I just want to do it. And David Lockridge was like, okay, I'm going with you in case something goes wrong. Lo and behold, something went wrong. Stockton Rush steered them into a debris field and then got them caught under the hull, where they could have died because he wasn't properly trained and didn't have the proper training to pilot a submersible.
Yeah.
Which is like, it feels like a toddler. A toddler who's like, no, Mom, I can tie my shoes. And then you're there for like 20 minutes. Yeah. And they still haven't tied their shoes.
He didn't know what he was doing.
No. I was like, what is actually going on? Like, there is no way this is real.
It's just, that whole documentary was just like a fever dream, I swear.
Right?
Because like, it would be like, oh, like this is interesting, like things are happening. And then like, it would be wrong. And Stockton would just go like, no, it's fine.
Yeah. It'd be like, everything's going wrong. And Stockton would be like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Truly rose-colored glasses. You cannot see the red flags until you take them off. Another thing, the fact that according to OceanGate, by the time that Titan imploded, there should have been 50 successful dives down to the Titanic. Maya, do you remember how many dives they actually got?
Wasn't this the third?
It was 9.
Oh.
They made 9 out of 50 dives. That is less than a 20% success rate.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's fine. Everything's fine, which is absolutely bizarre. And then there was the ultimate whole documentary was like, everything that went wrong. And then they're like, but this ultimately is what led to the downfall. So on dive 80, there was a huge compromise in the hull, which I think there were 5 dives after that.
Yeah.
And like you could see on the like acoustic monitoring system where like the distress signs would just continue and go, like they went higher and they were louder than before. I'll have Maya insert a picture on our Instagram because it was actually mind-blowing
really,
to me.
Really scary. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to pause and go back and I was like, no, this is like,
because I didn't like
crazy.
I didn't like understand it at first. I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah. No, it was like actually crazy. But the other thing that they did, which it's a really, really big no-no, is they left the sub in sub-zero temperatures in Canada over the winter in between diving seasons. What happens to water when it expands? Anyone who lives in a street who has a pothole knows what happens to water when it expands. Or what happens to water when it freezes. It expands.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen a pothole form, they filled it in the summer, then by winter everything was crumbled out of it because the water expanded. No. It is baffling to me because that is just like basic science.
Mm-hmm.
At least to me, that's basic science. Apparently it wasn't. And this was a man who supposedly had an engineering degree from Harvard. Harvard?
Was it Harvard?
It was an Ivy League.
Yeah.
But no, even some of the colleagues that he worked with were like, the knowledge he has does not match what his degree says.
Yeah.
But okay. But no, so that also severely compromises the hull and probably also led to its implosion. But yeah, no, it was crazy. 10 out of 10 recommend the documentary. It was
really good.
So good. Again, I've watched it like 3 or 4 times by now. The other thing that I saw, so first few times that I watched it, it was back in like June or July when it came out. And at the end, there was like this end credit scene where I swear at the end it said, this case is still ongoing. There has not been a resolution. When I watched it with Maya a couple weeks ago, it was like, it was found that Ocean Gate and Stockton Rush were in fact faulty in this case. And they were negligent.
Mm-hmm.
Which was like, I don't know if that's just like a weird Mandela effect.
Mandela
effect. Oh, no, I'm saying things wrong.
Why you do me like that? That was dirty.
But no, I swear the first couple times I watched it, it was like, this is still an ongoing case. So it could have changed, which is really interesting. But no, that was like really fun for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all we have for today. Maya is working diligently on getting our new logo up and running. It looks amazing. I love it. Maya's doing a great job.
Yippee! You guys, it's so fire.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. Next week, we will be discussing the lecture that we're going to about the undead.
I'm really excited.
I'm so excited.
It'll be like Halloween-y vibes.
Yes, it's going to be so fun. So thanks for listening. Join us next time.
Bye!
Thank you for joining us today. As always, all sources will be listed in the show notes below.
Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on our upcoming discussions. Join us next week as we delve into the intriguing depths of our grim past.
Stay curious, there's so much more to uncover.